Hey everyone, it's Pit and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a video that is very near and dear to my heart because I'm a foodie. I love food, and if you are new here, I went through a pretty extreme weight loss where I developed really unhealthy habits, and then I ended up finding my way into the gym, getting into lifting, getting into nutrition, getting into just taking care of my body in general and not just trying to be the smallest version of myself. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that genuinely changed my life, and that is reverse dieting. I feel like it's not talked about enough as it should be because it truly is just like incredible, and especially like now I feel like it's a trend. I feel like you go around and people are like bragging about the fact that like, oh, like I didn't eat breakfast, like like all I've had is coffee today, like no. This reverse dieting is fantastic because you get to eat more and lose weight. Our bodies are so cool if you learn them and take care of them and do things a specific way. Before we hop into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss another video from me. Without further ado, let's hop in to the thing that changed my life, and hopefully if you let it, it can change your life too. So what is reverse dieting? When you hear that, you probably think the reverse of a diet is just eating like crap. That's not what it is. Okay, so dieting, you're like restricting your calories, right? So when you, for example, for me, I got into fitness during the whole like 2020 time period. COVID, Chloe Ting workouts and like eating disorders were at a peak, I feel like people didn't even notice like what they were doing. So I was eating like 1,000 calories a day, something like that. So my body, your body will get used to however much you're putting in it. It goes into survival mode. It wants to take care of you. It wants you to be healthy. So if you're only eating 1,000 calories, it thinks that that is all that you are able to eat. That's all you have access to. So your body will adapt to eating 1,000 calories. So the day comes that you eat 1,200, 1,400, you automatically gain weight because that's not what your body's used to. So reverse dieting is going to help you fix that, because I know if you were anything like me, I would see these girls eating like 2,000 calories a day, and they were like thinner than me and like leaner than me, and they were losing weight and they looked great, and I was like, that's not fair. Like, oh, my metabolism sucks. Like, I just played the victim. I was like, oh, my metabolism is just horrible. Like, must be nice, must be nice. But no, like, you can change, you can adapt, you can boost your metabolism. Do you have a natural metabolism that might be slower than other people's? Absolutely. For example, if you were chubbier as a kid and you kind of like didn't really grow into that, and you just like stayed chubby and you had to like lose weight, like me, I was really big growing up, so I definitely naturally have a slower metabolism, but you need to get out of that head that that's just the way it is, because you can change, you can speed up and make your metabolism better. So you don't have to track your calories in order to reverse diet, especially if that's not something that you think is good for your mental health. You don't have to, but it does make it a little easier, and it's probably going to make it a little faster if you do track your calories. You can do it in a non-toxic way. I recommend not necessarily doing MyFitnessPal because that's the one where I feel like all the toxicity kind of began. Nothing against, I'm sure you can use MyFitnessPal in a healthy way. I use an app called MyPlate where I just track everything, and it has like a little barcode scanner so I can just scan in what I'm eating and stuff like that. So disclaimer before I try to make it sound like this just happens, it takes a long time for your body to adapt. At least it did for me. Everybody's different. Your metabolism, like I said, if you kind of slowed your metabolism by not eating enough, but if you have that naturally fast metabolism, it might be a little bit faster for you to do this than others. But like for me, it took over a year for me to get to the point where I am right now. So this is not going to happen overnight. It takes time, it takes patience. You have to really want it, and you're probably going to gain a little bit of weight before it gets better. Any sort of weight, I know, is scary. Like, I cried like seeing the scale go up and stuff like that, and like I was seeing like pudge on my stomach, and I was like, oh, like I still had those, like I still sometimes get those thoughts if I like go over in calories one night. I still have those thoughts sometimes, whereas the next morning where I'm like, I can't eat breakfast, but like you just have to push past that. Like, your mind is so strong. Tracking calories is going to be very useful, like I said. You don't have to, but it's gonna make it a little faster, it's gonna make it a little easier. So, let's say you are like me, and you started at like 1,000 to 1,200 calories. 1,200 being like I can't eat more than that. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is you are going to wanna slowly introduce more calories into your diet, and just the same way that your body got used to not eating enough, your body will then start to get used to eating more. So what happens is it kind of, like, your body is so much smarter than you think. We are so much more complex than you think if you go into the science behind our bodies. Like, our bodies do so much for us. Taking that small amount of calories that your body is used to, like I said, the same way it got used to that much, it can get used to more, but you're gonna have to be uncomfortable for a little bit. You're gonna have to push back past those mental barriers. Start slow, definitely start slow. Increase your calories by like 50 to 100 for a week or two. Let your body get used to that, especially if you have been in a calorie deficit for a very long period of time. It's gonna take a little bit more getting used to. If you've been stuck on like not eating all day and having like coffee and like not a lot of calories all day for a long period of time, it's gonna take a lot of getting used to. So start small, like 100 calories extra, introduce into your diet. The way I would recommend to do it is doing it through snacks. So, like, one of my favorite references that I use that I heard someone say once is that like our bodies and our metabolism is like a fire. So you're gonna wanna feed it little bits to keep it going. It's gonna burn it, it's gonna burn it. But if you just like pour it all on at once, it's gonna go out. So, or if you just don't feed it at all, it's gonna go out. So that might be an unpopular opinion because I know a lot of people do like fasted stuff where they only eat like one really big meal and it works for them. Me, that doesn't work for me. So I love the fire reference. So feed it little bits, it's gonna keep it burning, it's gonna keep it going. Don't feed it, it's gonna die. Overfeed it, you're gonna put it out. So that's my reference. What I did is I started introducing a little bit more just like protein into my diet in general. So what I was doing before is pretty much just coffee and then like a granola bar, and then I was eating dinner. So sometimes I'd have like an apple throughout the day too, so yeah. So protein bars were big for me. I would have one, started introducing that. Most of them are around 200 calories, a little bit more sometimes. So I started introducing that as like a snack. So instead of just an apple for lunch, I would have an apple and a protein bar, just kind of introducing more calories. So then my body got used to that and I started eating breakfast. Like, you can have more than just a coffee for breakfast. Fun fact. Another fun little fact, your body is gonna burn more digesting and taking in protein than does any other food group. So it's called the thermic effect of food. So if you are eating 1,000 calories of protein, you're more likely to be in a deficit than if you're eating 1,000 of your calories just of carbs. You see what I'm saying? So carbs are not the enemy by any stretch. I eat lots of carbs still, but protein is going to get you a lot further than any other food group. But the way you're gonna wanna do it is, like I said, start introducing, and then after a couple weeks, you're gonna have to get used to weighing yourself, or just, like I said, if you wanna do it the fastest way, track your calories, track your weight, see when your body is getting used to it. Weight fluctuates, so don't go religiously by the scale, but if after 2 weeks, your body's like pretty much remaining in the same like weight range, introduce more calories. Just slowly build up your calorie intake. So for me, like, my body got stuck at 1,700 for a while, and that took a while to get. So once I got used to like 1,200 calories, I was able to jump up to like 1,400 and 1,500 pretty quickly, but getting up to 1,700 took a long time for me. So it's not gonna be like stagnant the entire time. You're probably gonna have ups and downs with it, but that's okay. You're just gonna have to go and stick with it. I ended up you are gonna gain weight, like, chances are. Also, especially if the reason behind why you're doing it is not just to eat more, but also to get stronger. If you're weight training, if you are a runner and you just want to feel better, you want to have more energy, but you still want to look good, and you're like, I don't want to eat more and gain weight, but you're probably gonna gain weight. Especially if you're strength training and you're going from not strength training and not eating to eating and strength training. You're gonna gain weight, but it's gonna be weight in the best way possible depending on how you're eating. If you fill your body with crap, probably not. But muscle weighs more than fat. And also, the newbie gains are the fastest gains, okay? Don't take that for granted. If you are just starting resistance training, please do not take for granted how fast those gains come in the beginning, because you're never gonna have that again unless you hop on something. You're probably like, when I first got into the gym, I gained 10 pounds within like 2-3 months probably, just from eating and training, but I didn't really notice fat on me necessarily that much because I was slowly building up my calories. And then I went through my first bulk where I just said, F it. Like, I'm fixing my metabolism, and I ended up eating like 2,200 calories. I jumped from like 1,700 to 2,200. And I gained like 7 pounds from that. I did it for a couple months, and then I ended up cutting back to like 2,000 calories, and that's pretty much where I find that I can stay at my weight. So my maintenance calories tends to be about 2,000, and right now I'm cutting, so it is gonna end up getting used to a lower amount of calories, but I'm cutting in the right way this time, so it's gonna be, I'm at like 1,700, 1,600 calories, something like that, depending on the day. Sometimes it's more depending on my activity level. I try not to be in too much of a deficit, so weight loss takes time. Don't try to rush it, because the faster you try to make it, the faster it can also come back. So like I said, I'm trying to lean out right now, so I eventually will go back into another like bulk or like reverse dieting phase, and it's gonna be a lot easier this time. So there are so many benefits to it. It's gonna be really hard to put on muscle and build the body that you want in a restricted calorie amount. Muscle takes food to build. Your body needs that energy. If you're eating, you're gonna have more energy for a better workout. Then that protein is gonna go into your muscles. Like, it's just, food is not the enemy. Food really is medicine. You need minerals, you need vitamins, you need all of that just to feel good, just to function properly. Regardless of how you look, you're gonna just feel better if you're eating. So I'm sure there's a limit in which you just stop being able to build up your maintenance, but it's probably gonna be a lot higher than you think, especially because putting on muscle also increases your metabolism. So when you have muscle, your body needs more food just to like exist. But it's gonna take a long time to get there. It's just a really big learning experience. I can't tell you what's gonna work for your body. You can't tell me what's gonna work for my body unless you get to know it. Like, if you're with a nutritionist or something like that, it's gonna take some learning time. Like, you are gonna learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you, what you can stick with and what you can't stick with. So it's just, you're gonna have to be patient, which I know is hard a lot of times, because when you want results, a lot of times you just want results, like you want it. But it's not gonna work like that. You're gonna have to be patient, and yeah, but it is so worth it. It genuinely changed my life. I feel better now than I ever have in my life, and I think I look better too, personal opinion. So that's gonna be the video. If you want to go into more scientific research about it, you can. I'm just dumbing it down and making it, just bringing it to your attention that this is something that you can do, because like I said, I just don't feel like it's talked about, that this is something that everyone can do. And like I said, everyone's body is different. What's gonna work for you might not work for others, but be patient, take the time to learn yourself, because you're stuck in your body for the rest of your life. So if you understand it and you're learning what works for it and what doesn't, you're gonna be so much happier with yourself and just happier in general. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below like I said, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.